Hey everybody, it's Dr. Joe and Gamecock fan Callie. That's right. And today I'm going to show you some of my favorite hip pain stretches and exercises. I know, it's exciting. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and make sure you make your subscription either public or let me know you're a subscriber because I always try and respond to my subscribers. So the first one is going to be lying down. If you can't get on the floor, that's okay. You can do these on your bed or a couch. So just make sure you kind of get into a comfortable position. So with the hip flexor stretch when you're lying down, what you want to do is you're going to bring the opposite knee up towards your chest. So I'm going to stretch this side. I'm going to bring that knee as far up towards my chest as I can comfortably get it on this side. And once I get it up on this side and I feel like, okay, that's a pretty good, tight, comfortable stretch on this right side, I'm going to slide down that left side and that's going to stretch out my hip flexor right here. So if you have some hip pain, that's really going to kind of stretch it out and get a nice comfortable stretch in there. And you can even squeeze and push your knee down as far as you can. Your heel might even come up off the floor like mine is to get that extra stretch in there. So with this one, this is a full stretch, so you just want to hold that for 30 seconds if you can. Sometimes it's nice to use deep breaths instead of actually counting it out. So, do a 30-second count and see how many nice deep breaths you can do. And if that's 4 or 5, then that's how many you should do. Really do some nice belly breathing, that diaphragmatic breathing, that will help relax those muscles. But I can feel my left hip flexor is usually a little bit tighter. I can feel that stretch even just in this position right here. You're going to hold that for 30 seconds and then do that 3 times. I would say go ahead and do both sides if you have time, just because that's usually the hips are connected. And so if one is painful, it's good to do the other one because it's probably getting overworked a little bit. So while you're lying down, then you can do an exercise. And so this side's still the one that is painful. Now I'm just going to work those muscles a little bit. So all I'm doing is now just actively bending my knee, bringing it up towards my chest. So I'm not grabbing it, and then I'm just kicking it up and down. So bringing it up, getting that nice bend until it's a little bit uncomfortable, and then come back down. Now starting off, when you come back down, you can bring your leg all the way down and reset, but eventually you would want to be able to do all of those and not go all the way down. So you're keeping those muscles activated the whole time. If you have some hip pain, this might be a little bit uncomfortable. You don't have to bring it up as high as me. You can just stop right there. So you're not going up quite as high. Or if the going down is uncomfortable, then you can also modify that. Still try and straighten out your leg if you can, but maybe not go down quite as far. So just starting off with, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. If you're having that pain, it might not hurt a lot while you're doing it, but you might be sore afterwards. So just doing that a couple times a day, and then you can slowly build it up from there. So now we're going to do some standing stuff. So with the standing stretches and exercises, make sure you have something like a sturdy chair or a countertop to hold on to for balance, because these aren't really for balance exercises. So I'd rather you hold on and focus on the exercise or the stretch instead of trying to work on your balance as well. So the next 2 exercises are going to be for a hip flexion extension and a hip abduction. But this is a little bit different just to get the hip moving and really loosen it up to get rid of some of that hip pain. Because often I'll tell you really to go nice and slow and controlled with your movement, which you can, but sometimes if you're having hip pain and it's feeling stiff and tight, if you go a little bit faster, but still controlled, that's going to actually make it feel a little bit better. So what I mean by that is not just swinging all the way around like this. Still keep your body upright. Try not to move your upper body, just move your legs. Pull your toes up to lock it out, and then do a little bit shorter movement, but a little bit quicker. And so that's really loosening up the hip joint there. So maybe just 10 going front to back, and then put your foot out in front of you, and then do a quick side to side. So maybe 10 that way, 10 the other way, take a little break, and then start over again. And so this is more almost for getting it warmer, getting it, if it's stiff and tight and pain, that kind of loosens everything up. If you want to get more of a stretch and more control, you can still do those same movements, a little bit bigger and longer, but a little bit slower. So you can kind of change the pace and the height to make it just a different exercise for each one of those. So the last one is going to be a standing hip flexor stretch. And a lot of people have said the one that I really like the best is when you have your knee down on the pillow, but that's really uncomfortable for some people. So I wanted to be able to show you a way to stretch those hip flexors, but doing it in a standing position where you're not stressing out your knees. So all you're going to do is the one I want to stretch is this left one here. I'm going to put that back behind me. So I'm almost starting off in that runner stretch for the calf. It's going to be almost the same movement, except when you're doing your runner stretch, you kind of lean forward, you feel it in your calf. To get the hip flexors, you're going to keep your body upright here. That's what's going to go. You're going to shift your whole body forward, and that's what's going to get the hip flexor stretch. So I'm going to take a second here to smile and get my thumbnail picture. And you can take one too if you want. So keeping your feet forward, keeping your body upright, and when you get in this position before you lunge forward, tuck your tailbone in. So see how my booty kind of goes in and I'm tucking it into a tilt. Even if I just do that standing up, I'm already feeling that hip flexor stretch because they come all the way up to the spine here. So make sure you do that tuck first. Keep that back leg straight and just lean forward a little bit, keeping that body upright. And I'm feeling a really good stretch right through here in that hip flexor area. So holding that stretch for that 30 seconds, come back up, shake it out, get that tilt first, and then lean in again and do that 3 times. So there you have it. Those were some of my favorite hip pain stretches and exercises. I know, go team. If you'd like to help support my channel, make sure and click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking down there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.